Welcome to this explainer. Rather than just handing you a dry, boring list of terms to memorize, we're going to dive right into a fascinating thematic journey through 5 absolutely essential English vocabulary words. Because learning vocabulary, it isn't just about rote memorization. Not at all. It's about building connections. So we're going to map out these words conceptually, connecting them in ways that make them literally stick in your mind for good. Let's get into it.
So, we're actually skipping the standard agenda today to jump right into an incredibly intriguing question. What on earth connects animal survival to clear communication? I know, it sounds like a riddle, right? But the secret to accelerated learning is taking these seemingly unrelated words and grouping them into really memorable conceptual buckets. By the end of our time together today, you're going to see exactly how these concepts link up, and more importantly, you'll have these definitions securely locked into your long-term memory.
All right, let's kick things off with Section 1. Nature and survival, specifically biology vocabulary.
Let's look at the precise definition of the word groom, which is the action of brushing and cleaning fur. Now, when you hear this word, don't just think of a fancy pet salon. Think of biology. In the wild, animals absolutely must groom themselves to remove parasites, to regulate their body temperature, and just to maintain their overall physical health. It's a fundamental survival mechanism. So when you see the word groom, picture that vital, active process of biological maintenance.
Moving right along to dietary survival, we have the term omnivore. An omnivore is a living being that eats both plants and animals. Honestly, it's kind of the ultimate evolutionary advantage. Instead of being completely restricted to grazing on leaves or exclusively hunting prey, an omnivore survives by adapting to whatever food source happens to be available. It is a fantastic word to have in your vocabulary arsenal because it perfectly encapsulates this idea of biological flexibility and survival through a varied diet. Now, what's really interesting here is how grouping these two biological terms together creates this really powerful mental framework. By anchoring groom to hygiene and fur, and omnivore to diet, plants, and animals, you aren't just trying to memorize 2 random words. Actually, scratch that. It's more like you are building a mental file cabinet labeled nature and biology. This is a highly focused learning technique. When you need to recall one word, that thematic connection will automatically pull up the other.
Moving on, we have Section 2, Facing the Competition. We're stepping into the realm of social conflict now.
So, a rival. A rival is a person or a group that competes with others. Whether it's, say, 2 omnivores fighting over the exact same food source in a forest, or 2 businesses competing for the same market share. A rival is that direct competitor. Notice how the definition explicitly mentions this can be either a person or a group. It's just a highly versatile word that perfectly bridges the gap between our basic, raw survival instincts and modern human interaction. Next up is Section 3, the power of clarity, focusing on clear communication. First, let's consider the phrasal verb point out. It basically means to tell someone something you think they don't know, or to draw someone's attention to something. Imagine you're sitting in a huge meeting, right? And someone has missed a crucial detail. You don't rewrite the whole entire presentation. You simply point out the specific error. You are gently but firmly directing their focus to a blind spot. It is an incredibly common, absolutely crucial tool for everyday communication. Building directly on that, we have spell out, which takes communication a massive step further. To spell out means to explain something very clearly. If pointing something out is like shining a quick little flashlight on a problem, spelling it out, that's like turning on the stadium floodlights. There is literally no way to miss it. You're leaving absolutely no room for misinterpretation. You are breaking the information down so thoroughly that anyone, even a rival, can fully comprehend your meaning. Notice the subtle escalation in our language here. Point out is all about awareness. You're just drawing attention to an issue or an unknown fact. But spell out, that is about exhaustive comprehension. You are explaining it super clearly to eliminate any possible confusion whatsoever. Understanding the difference between these 2 phrases allows you to calibrate exactly how forceful and how detailed you need to be when you speak. Which brings us to Section 4, why these words matter. Let's look at some real-world application. Let's put this all together into a quick mini-narrative. Step 1, an omnivore competes with a rival. Step 2, you point out the problem to them. Step 3, you spell out the solution clearly. Look at how seamlessly those 5 exact source words just click together. It's like a giant puzzle. If you merely point out a problem to a rival and they just don't get it, Well, you might just have to step up and spell out the solution for them so they understand perfectly. This structured sentence proves that you now truly own these definitions.
To wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with this final, kind of provocative thought. As you go into your week, dealing with your own personal rivals or, navigating complex situations at work or home, how will you choose to communicate? Will you simply point things out and just hope others notice? Or will you take the time to spell them out with absolute clarity? Practice using these distinct buckets of vocabulary and just watch how much more precise your English communication becomes. Thank you so much for learning with me today, and keep exploring.